Chairman, discussion for possible action, a ratification of a letter to the RTC asking for them to reconsider the routes of the I-11 corridor. So I was scheduled to go to the state, we couldn't get it all worked out. I had to write a letter to be read in public comment, it had to be in yesterday. It's in your backup material, and what it states is the importance of coming up I-11 through 93 and 318, as opposed to going up the route they chose in 2014 of going up 95. It's just a simple letter addressed to the governor and the state RTC board, asking them to take a further look at the route for I-11. It's down the road, 2034, before we'll ever start out of Las Vegas, but it would be vital to White Pine County and eastern Nevada. And they need to take a second look at this with yesterday, the passage of USMCA, United States, Mexico, and Canada agreement, and this would be a major thoroughfare for commerce for centuries. So this letter was sent to be read into public comment next Tuesday at their special meeting, and it's nothing more than that, to ask the governor and that board to reconsider. There's backup material that states why. So I'm asking the commission to say, okay, I did okay, and we can just proceed with that, and that letter can be read into the public comment.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Ian and a second by Shane. And any further discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. So, okay, now we can move back to our 10 o'clock. Thank you very much. That was very helpful as far as expediting this, making this meeting go faster. Okay, just a second here. That was page 4. If we don't have anything else on elected officials, do we? No. Okay, so let's go back to page 3. Item C is a 10 o'clock update from the Forest Service. Item 1 is a discussion update on the Tamberline Canyon project. Jose Noriega, District Ranger. Jose, welcome.
So, Jose Noriega for the record, District Ranger with the Gila Ranger District. So I have Doug Powell here, he's my geologist, so he's actually the team lead on this project. I was asked to come give a presentation on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I asked Jose, I think that this kind of flew under the radar. We missed the opportunity during the scoping to go ahead and give public comment to it. And so, but I think it's important. And you guys know I'm from Vegas, I did not know where the Tamberline project was going to be specifically, so I think it's important that the board understands what this is.
So we're processing an exploration project from Kennecott Copper. It's in a location that we have not seen mineral exploration in quite some time. And so Tamberline Canyon is between Mosier Canyon and the Wildlife Management Area in Cave Lake. It's that section in there fairly down low. They're looking to do 8 drill pads to explore for minerals. They're gonna be using quite a bit of equipment in there. They'll either be accessing off of the Cave Lake Road or more likely off of the Mosier Canyon Road. I think it's important to come in and talk to you guys about this and make people aware of it, because there's some other type of stuff I think that we need to be looking long-term on. As far as exploration projects go, this one is fairly straightforward. It's not, I don't see any major red flags, it's pretty standard, except the location where they're doing exploration, which is probably not gonna be visible or noticeable to anyone out here. But that location, if it were ever to become developed as a mine site, will be visible from everyone in Ely every morning when they wake up. And so once the exploration is done and we look out into the future, if a proposed mine site were to come up, that is gonna create a lot of controversy in the community. And so it's something that we need to be aware of and we need to be thinking about. The other thing I think that everyone needs to be aware of as well as part of this project, but it's tied to it, but it's not part of the exploration project. There are new mining claims that have been posted up on Success Summit and around Camp Success.
Yeah.
That concerns me a little bit, because in this county, Camp Success and Success Summit, the Loop, is one of the top recreational kind of the areas in the county. It's an area that if we start seeing a lot of mining activity, it's going to get very controversial. And so, as of right now, we don't have any proposals for mineral exploration up there. But again, it's something everyone should be aware of, so. We'll be working the process on that. The comment period closed, however, if people have comments, I would encourage them to either send us something or come and talk to you about it, so.
Does
Questions?
anybody know where that line is and what that visual would be, where the area is? Okay, so if you're headed to Baker or wherever, then that's going to, you know, if this is developed. One thing, and I'm gonna say it out there, one thing that bothered me is that they asked for, the locations to be kept private, of where they're gonna drill. And my concern was too, Jose and I haven't talked about it, I thought it was best just to discuss it in an open forum. I didn't know if there was a possibility of county roads at all that was going to be
So that
utilized,
is,
so that we're aware of any, you know, when they start bringing in their equipment.
that is a good point. I talked about the access, and this is a situation we always face for exploration on the Forest Service. That equipment's gonna be accessing either off the county roads or BLM roads, one or the other. We've encouraged the company to talk to the BLM and to the county and so forth about that access. I don't know that that has occurred. We've made kind of you guys aware of it, and Doug has talked to the county, or to the BLM geologists, so they're aware of it as well. I know if they access Mosier Canyon, it sounds like this one I remember, above the shooting range, the Mosier Canyon Road is a secondary county road. And then there may be concerns as well from the BLM as far as access and what the equipment may or may not do. They'll need water to process and do the drilling. There's one spring up there, and I truly believe that there's probably not enough water there to do. They don't have water right as far as I know on that spring, so they'll be bringing water in from an outside source, somewhere.
Who's the applicant?
Kennecott Copper.
Got Rio Tinto.
Oh, they got some answering to do in McGill first before we grant them anything.
That's kind of what I thought too, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest too, they did make a request that we not release drill pad locations. That doesn't sit well with me. And we have a regulation that says that we have that ability not to release it. But in my opinion, that creates two conflicting regulations that we're trying to follow there. Actually, three, because it flies in the face of the NEPA process about disclosing what we're doing. And it also flies in the face of the FOIA process, which releases information if it's requested. So I will share this with, at this point, I have not released the drill pad locations. However, I had Doug here create a map of the access roads, the cross-country travel, and the helicopter landing pads.
I think you might get a FOIA request this afternoon.
That's fine, perfect. So, any other questions?
Thank you for the update, because that's something to put in our minds, and the DA's already on top of them, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jose, do you know when there's planning on starting, is it gonna be,
Most likely, due to timing restrictions and stuff for wildlife, it wouldn't be before the mid-July of this
oh,
next
good,
year.
oh, good, okay.
And then in March, then again, the timing restriction for migratory birds and sage grouse would kick in. And we're just barely getting started. We just received, I think we received 8 comments, and we're just pulling together, getting the comments out to the different specialists, and we will start reviewing it. I don't anticipate that we'll finish the CE until right before the drilling would occur, which would be next summer, because they still have to do some wildlife surveys and such that they won't be able to do because they didn't get them done before the time. And it maybe botany surveys too, I'm not sure, but they won't be able to get everything done until right before they drill, so we would finish the NEPA, get the plan finalized and approved, and then they could go to work after that.
This is, we have an ordinance coming up that we're cleaning up in a little bit, and this is exactly what it addresses, because there's always, I mean, we all want economic development in our county, but we need the information so we can do that balancing with the public knowing what's going on, so.
visual impact of this. I mean, we all know, just north of there in the Peacock area, we had that fire several years ago, and you look at what that did for the change of our point of view from this community. Can you imagine what a mine in that mountainside would do? I mean, if you're looking at an east-facing window from anywhere in this community, you would see a mine, an operating mine, and that's, I mean, I love mining. I think if it wasn't for mining, this community would not last very long. It's been a wonderful thing for us, but man, right on your doorstep, that's a pretty tough one to swallow.
A couple things I'd say if I could is, one is, very few exploration projects end up being mines. The two, they will be drilling fairly deep in this project. And, so there's a chance that if they did find something, it could be an underground mine, which has a much smaller footprint than an open pit mine would.
And just to comment on that, a previous business of mine, we did a lot of work in exploration drilling, and yeah, most of them never get anywhere, and then when they do reclaim their drill pads, a year or two later, you really can't even tell where they were at, so they do clean stuff up pretty good.
The drilling operation on its face is fairly straightforward. I don't have really any major issues on it. My concern on this one is simply just anticipating looking into the future and not have something surprise you from the side.
And if they do find something, they'd come back and drill 100 or 200 holes or something like that,
Yeah.
so.
And my concern was, like Jose was saying, you know, the area that it's in, and it's a great recreation area. And so the concern there was, you know, down the road, any impact that I felt like that the board really ought to, you know that this was possibly in the process. I mean, we have a start, even though it's gonna be, you know, spring, early summer, it's still on the ground, so.
Well, it's important we get this information, well, we appreciate it, thank you very much.
I have one other comment real quick, just so, with a new ordinance coming out and some of that type of stuff, it's probably pretty important that the agencies, both BLM and Forest Service, work with you guys. Because sometimes that step misses when we're dealing with mining operators, if they don't deal with the county very often, that we have that information available and we can include it within our paperwork to
So
process.
that'd be, yeah,
So,
all right, great.
Anyone else gonna comment? Hearing none, thank you very much for your
I
update.
appreciate it.
okay,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Thanks.
So right now, we're gonna take about a 3-minute break before we go, we're right on time here. We're gonna take a 3-minute break and then we'll come back to page 3, or 10:15, which is the road commission, so we'll be right back.
Did you say you have a little map of the roads?
Yes, we have a map of the roads. Do you have a copy with you?
Of
The road.
You can
recognize those stress cards, but there was a maximum on it. $500, and it was not.
And there's two others. I was in HGF.
How many hours a week are you working?
He just submitted a form to me and Terry as far as how many they've been working close to a year. That they've been working on it's called they work like 6 days a week.
Okay, good.
But it's
No, it's like 2 days a week or something like that, so.
I really like the makeup of them.
Yep.
It's just a advisory board. I don't think he's doing a list of questions. You're not, are you? No, this isn't an HR thing. This is not a human resources thing. The answer is no. Good, how are you?
Oh, good. Item,
Yes.
and, it's to, let's see. Page 4. It's on page 4, item H. It's a 1 PM Regional Planning Commission.
Item 1 is discussion for possible action, approval to select 3 individuals to serve on the Regional Planning Commission with varying terms. 1 is for 4 years, 1 is for 3 years, and 1 is for 2 years, with each expiring on December 31st of their respective years. 1 member cannot hold another public office. The applicants are Travis Roy Lund, Jed A. Peeler, Carol McKenzie, and George Chachis. So, did we get resumes, or what do we have here?
The packet material is the advisory board application that each of them filled out, which is pretty limited when it comes to containing the information you might need to vet out the 3 best candidates for this.
And that's kind of what I was getting at. Mike,
Yeah.
do you think we should interview each one individually like we do on anything else, or should we just have an open meeting and call them up in order that they sit, or?
I think, there's no provision to do either one way or the other. One of the options you could do is invite them to come up and give a little, explanation of why they feel that they should be considered for the appointment. Also, we're gonna be appointing 3 positions, and I was surprised we didn't get a lot more applicants.
How do we advertise this?
In the classified section of the newspaper for 3 weeks.
Was it on radio or anything, just gonna be
Just the
regular?
newspaper.
Okay, then, Mike, what I'd like to do then is offer each candidate 3 to 5 minutes to explain their qualifications, so we can all.
Yeah,
meet
3
them.
minutes sounds great.
3 minutes, well, 3 to 5, I'm not gonna be crazy about it, but I think that's a fair way to do it. And then we can hear from each candidate, then we can roundtable the commission, and we can hear and see, do we have the person?
It's great because, some of these people are here right now, and you can interview them, and then the commission has the opportunity, if it wants to, not to make the appointments today,
Okay.
but to re-advertise for another week, shake the bushes, and also invite some more people, and hold a special 1-hour meeting towards the end of the month.
Okay.
That's what I was referring to, because there's maybe something else we have to throw on the agenda anyway. And then make a selection at that point.
Okay, that sounds good. So, because of the way it's written and agendized here, I have nothing to do with it. I'm gonna call up each one of you in the order that we have it on our agenda. I didn't write the agenda just the way it is. So, each one of you will be allowed 3 minutes or a little bit more, whatever you need. Give us your qualifications, explain why you wanna do it, whatever you wanna tell us. And then, when that's over, we'll roundtable. How's that? Okay, so, is the commission okay with that?
I think it's good.
Okay. First one up will be Travis Roy Lund. Would you please come forward? If I could just kind of present why you're applying, what your qualifications are, that kind of thing, just a kind of a background of who you are.
Okay, I spent 30 years in community development departments, working with zoning and planning, and was chief building official for 15 years at one city. This was in Southern California. When I moved up here, I wanted to lend my expertise and knowledge and experience to my adopted area. And I was on the planning commission in 2016, before the old planning commission went away. And I just feel it's something that I have something to offer, and I'm offering it. It's just my experience, and just because I want to be civic minded. That's about all I really have to say.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a good point. Very good, thank you. The next one up would be Jed A. Peeler. Thank you.
The reason I'm applying is very simple. I love this town, love the county, and I treat everybody in the county is the same. I was first appointed by Bob Miller, and he was mayor in 2001, to sit in various boards. I was on the Economic Diversification Council as far back as 2001. The Industrial Review Board, and I've been on various planning commission boards since. I'm now the chairman of the city planning commission, and we've gotten a lot done. All the people I worked with were first class, including Carol back there. And we've got big projects done, like the north-south power line to Harry Allen's. We had an advisory committee on that. I did all the environmental reading myself because it was too much for everybody else. I'm a speed reader. We got that project done, and the county commission followed our recommendations. We're a time saver for you. We do a lot of the heavy lifting, so that all you have to do is just listen to our evaluation and make a determination on whether the project should go or not. And very rarely do we say no, but occasionally we do, when we see something that's bad. But we've also helped increase the size of McGill. We've done all kinds of projects, too numerous to mention, really. The wind farm, when we saw that that would bring $1 million in taxes to White Pine County, we went for that, even though we were dubious on the effects of it, of wind farming, you know, for electricity. We look at how it's gonna affect our town financially, and we go with that as well. We try to put all the factors in. I'm a chemist by trade, and believe me, you have to put all the factors in before you give a thumbs up on any project. I've been appointed by every mayor since Bob Miller to a planning commission role. So I feel I'm very qualified because I've got 17 years' experience in planning commissions and 19 on others, you know, if you combine them both. So I mean, it's quite a resume. I don't know what else I could add if you have any questions. Oh, one more thing I should say is I have all the books, maps, everything that you need to have the background for the commission. So I've never gotten rid of the books. I've got all the records from day one. I can resource those, research those, and that's one other advantage I have, is I'm a good record keeper.
Very good.
All right?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, the next one up would be Carol McKenzie.
Since you know me very well, I think. I wanted to be back on the Regional Planning Commission. I was on it years ago, and when they closed out the Regional Planning Commission, and the city went with their own, and the county went with their own, I was on that board until it was disbanded. I've got a lot of background knowledge of being on regional planning and helping make decisions for the county and also the city when I was on the Regional Planning Commission. I also am very willing to work. I have no problem with driving to Ely for meetings. I do it on a regular basis, so it's not an issue for me to come in for meetings whenever I need it in here. I think because of my background, I also have, I follow in Jed's footsteps, I guess. I have files of everything that we did when I was on the Regional Planning Commission before. We also worked with Dean Newbear to do the McGill Highway project, get that lined out. I don't think it was ever totally completed simply because of the fact that it wasn't followed through on. But I've worked a lot for the county on different projects. I've been a county commissioner, you're well aware, and been on a lot of other committees, and I still am involved as much as I possibly can be, and I have no problem doing this now. I would love to be on it. I think I can be an asset to the county and the city, and I think I work well with other people, so I appreciate you picking me to be on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, and George Chachas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've attended planning commission meetings, both regional planning and Ely City planning commission meetings going back to the late 70s. I've given my input that I joined, no I did not, I was working full time for Kennecott Copper. When I was with Kennecott Copper, I did fire duties, fire inspection. I then went to safety inspection and security inspection. I've attended meetings over a great period of time. I understand a lot of the regulations. At that time, we were working under the Uniform Building Code. Now you've gone to the International Building Code. Along the way, as they contemplated, we get these new people coming in from the outside and they say, oh, you adopt this new code, it's easy to follow. But what they don't look at is the impacts that it creates on the people in this community. A lot of them don't have the kind of revenues that are needed to follow those codes. I don't have a problem with codes. I do have a problem with selective enforcement. Over the years, you've seen me at this meeting, you've seen me at city council meetings, you may have seen me at planning commission meetings, you may have seen me at RPC meetings. I brought out the discrepancies. I'm not a quitter. You can't win all the time, but I have a good understanding of what the codes are and what they should be according to what they've adopted, but that isn't always the case. I have a degree in history and a minor in police science. The biggest problem I see is a lack of consistency. There are some people that are sincere that get on these boards and they mean well, but unfortunately, they don't make their decisions based on what regulations they've adopted. A lot of it is what I call sweetheart deals. That needs to stop. You've heard me say that on more than one occasion. You need to be fair and balanced. If you're gonna adopt a rule and regulation, that applies to everyone. We're not doing that. As a member of the public, when I see a new project going in, like the Aquatic Center, I look at the roadway going in there, minimum city standard is 36 foot wide. It's 22. The sidewalk on either side isn't compatible to ADA standards. The new Holiday Inn, the width again is not to city standards. The ingress, egress, they put a triangle in there, which is a safety hazard. Not saying that they shouldn't divide that. The state wanted to divide it. But you didn't have to put in a triangle. You could have put in the, what do they call those posts with directional, or guardrail. Now you have a situation when it snows, somebody can't see that triangle, they're new to the community, and the access there, they're gonna break out their front end with no warning whatsoever that you're hitting a concrete barrier. That's wrong. You've got in that same situation where someone's unhappy with the community and they're putting up signs like blow me, bite me. I get angry at the city and the county also. We don't need that, not in front of a $13 million project. That goes back to the planning commission as far as I'm concerned. We have a situation coming in this coming year. The traveling veterans memorial wall. And directly across the street, we have houses of prostitution broadcasting, sizzling women. Can't do that. You can call them a ranch, you can call them something else, but you cannot advertise brothel. All that goes back to the planning commission, goes back to management of the city. No one else has brought that up. I have. I'm concerned about where we're going. I'm concerned about downtown being narrowed down to 2 lanes. A lot of you folks aren't in business downtown. I am. I've seen the people that I've known for years come and go. I don't want that. I don't want to see 2 lanes. We don't have that many bicyclists. I'm all for sharing the road, folks. But what we've got now is not going to work. If you monitor traffic on the Great Basin, like I have, put in 1 lane. You're going to have traffic stacked up all the way to McDonald's.
Okay, well, thank you for your comments.
My interest is sincere, and I'd like consideration. Thank you.
And I think everyone who showed up here is sincere, and they're all qualified. I'd like to ask each commissioner out what they perceive on how we're going about this. Are we doing it the correct way? Did we do enough? What, are we locked into this? What do you think after listening to our potential candidates? Where should we be, or how do you feel we should be? Ian, go ahead and start.
I thought Mike's perspective was right, and